I feel like we are two little girls trying to make a cake. But
Well, you've been giving me all the instructions.
well, my sister always tell me, you know, you are a manager, you know. You can give all instructions, but I have all the ideas and let other people do the work.
But when you were a little girl, I'm sure you used to taste this.
What? When you put the, and when you finish, everybody fighting for the base, you know. Everybody fighting for that base boy. So whenever I making cake, instead of using the hand mix, I go my old time traditional way and put in my love into it.
And with the love in it, you taste it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's an ingredient that you can't leave out.
Not everything you're doing, if you're making sweet things, you have to put love. You're making savory, you put the love.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the love is the key ingredient and have something taste good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Yvonne, it's really nice having you here in Trinidad, girl.
Oh, I tell you, we have been for weeks now. We've been looking forward to this, and here we are.
You come down, it lasts 2 days, you come down, and then you're here.
I tell you, it's been so special.
Yes,
oh my. It was what, 2019?
When we
the
first
last
met?
time
Yes.
when we came.
Yes, 2019.
2019.
The Lance was now recuperating from his heart
That's
attack.
right, that's right.
Yeah.
5 years, can you
5
imagine?
years.
5
5 years. But we knew each other.
We have, yes,
Yes.
met
before.
here and there at
Yes.
different points.
Yes.
Mhm.
But 2019 we became sisters.
That's
Blood sisters.
We haven't gotten a chance to trace the family tree, you know. If any Jamaicans come here.
But you know, once we did a video together, I'm not sure if it was when we were in Florida. Yeah, and somebody said, but is that your sister? You all look alike. Yeah, this one is spirit.
This sister that has to be taught all these fancy things with this baking.
So tomorrow, please God, we will continue the real part of this cake making.
Right, so
Tonight we only cream and the sugar and butter.
I'll get all the rest of the lesson tomorrow.
Tomorrow, God's willing.
And
So
then
I
when
hope it for the new year you're making a black cake for Ralph. That'll make pilau for Ralph.
I should try to do that, especially our anniversary is on the 30th. He would get a kick out of it because he would know that, what is it? What anniversary it will be? Our 54th.
Oh,
So
so
that
wait,
could,
now we married the same time.
we are December 30th, 1970.
Oh, you all married 1 year before us.
Yes. So
But you
you're
was-
71.
Yeah.
Very young, you know.
You was a baby. I thought I was yours. Because you and I am older than you and you married
I
older
was
than me.
18 and Ralph was 20.
Oh, I was 18 too, going on 19. And Lance was 21.
Okay.
And how old is the eldest child?
Jeff just had his 51st birthday.
Well, we move a little faster than all you.
That's
Because
true. We
Lisa-
didn't have any
Lisa is
children for
53.
3 years.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Well, you were one of those wise ones to know about enjoying the honeymoon before you take on responsibilities. Yeah, boy, you hurry.
Yeah. I remember when Liba was there that she was like a couple years older than Jeff. I remember that.
Right, because Liba was 51 in May.
Oh, okay. Because he's 73.
Right,
She
she's
is
73 as well.
Okay, just months then.
Yes.
Because he's October.
Right, so
Okay.
May, June, July, August, September.
That's right. So it's really not a
5
whole year.
months.
It's just.
Yeah, 7 months.
Okay.
So we had a few things in common, you
So
know.
then, if I make him something like this, I think he would get a real kick out of it.
But let it be a
Because
surprise.
you know I don't make.
Yes, let it be a surprise. When you go out, you start to bake the cake.
Oh my goodness, that's a great thought.
I'll write the recipe for you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. And you could just call me when it's not too short.
I get stuck.
I'll walk you through.
The joys of WhatsApp. You remember those days when you used to have to call and you have to
plenty
count your
of them.
minutes?
Exactly. It was $6 a minute
Yes.
to talk to
I'm
anybody
telling you.
in England, and no, for sure was $6.
Mhm.
When you get your monthly phone bill, the phone overseas phone more than the bill itself.
When Ralph and I met, we were so young we didn't have any money. All we had to do was write letters.
Okay, and he was in New York,
And I was in Jamaica.
Right, right. But the letter used to get in time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know. You could. You're talking of Australia. But you know, there are a lot of people who got married just talking to each other on the
I
phone.
know, quite a few.
And it seemed to work, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose they talk so much to each other. They mostly like talking
Yeah.
that you get to know each other by just listening.
When he came to Jamaica, and stayed at the same home where I wasn't boarding there anymore, but that's where I boarded to go to high school. But I was visiting my friend there. And when he came there, we just hit it off.
Love at first sight.
I don't know, it didn't seem like love, like wow, with anything. But all of a sudden, it was almost like a friendship.
Yes.
Like we just had so much in common, and we just, and my friends, and we were all just talking together. And any topic, we covered the world.
Right, yes. That was nice. Very nice. Yeah. It's very important to be a husband's friend.
Yes, indeed.
You his friend and he your friend.
That's right.
Because a lot of people, they get married and they are husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, well, that's my husband, that's my wife, and you're committed or whatever. But a friendship is wonderful when you're friends. You could talk on any topic.
That's right.
The person could tell you anything, and you know. So again, that's something we have in common.
That's right.
Yes.
We keep piling up on the list, huh?
Yes, man. So,
Any room for me?
well, but Ralph's not here.
That is
We
okay.
want to hear what you guys have to say. I mean, we saying, well, being friends is great.
Yes, being friends is really, really great. Yeah, Louis and I have been friends for a long spell. What is it again? What is it different?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes, man. So I see you have a book there. What you have in mind? What you organizing?
All right, in a Calypso, man.
Calypso? like if Lancy is a little uneasy,
Mm-hmm.
right? He will start to sing Calypso. But he composing them.
It's therapeutic.
Yes, kind of easy therapy. But it'll be so joke. You say, huh? Why are you singing Calypso? You stress or what? Like you would just say, you're making cake. I'm making cake. I'm making cake. You say something else. You say, washing wares, washing wares. You say, what do you stress or what?
Sometimes it's the simple things that work, you know.
Yes, and you laugh and you say, well, okay. So what in your mind, boy? What trouble in there?
All right, you want to give me a little break here. Because that little fan you'll be in there.
So you see, Yvonne, you see?
See,
See how it started?
that you get a good workout, you strengthening your arms.
You know, once Lasana came when he was working in P, and he started to make fried bakes, right? And he was kneading the flour. I said, but your arms looking pretty big, boy. He said, yeah, your biceps looking good. He said, yes, you know, when you're doing this and you're making bake, you do 100 reps, you know. Right?
But that's the thing about old time methods, you know.
Yeah.
You certainly got to work out just by living.
Yeah, because everything was laborious, but
Absolutely.
yet, that the people had no stress. because they did so much manual work. We
But you
have-
see, the time was taken up with doing the thing.
That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah. No, you have life so easy and yet there's so much stress and anxieties.
Mm.
And long time people are 10 children now, driving people crazy, you know. And 10 children long time, and you're washing all these clothes by hand. Some people go by the river.
I'm telling you, wasn't
And-
easy for sure.
What was it like in Jamaica? In those
Well,
days?
Well, similar.
Yes, similar
Because-
because I remember Mom having a big tub and the clothes washing.
On a chicken board.
Yes, and we're all helping and hanging out and all of that.
Where was this in Jamaica?
That was in Monique.
Money.
St. Anne. It was maybe about, I don't remember how many miles is it from Orchards, but not too far.
Monique is where
Yeah.
Frank used to live.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So you also walked down to the river or something?
No, this was just all at home. She had
All at home.
an area in the back where she had was washing. So you washed with your hands. When there was
Over a
little girl.
wooden board.
Yes, yes, indeed. And then
And they had a block of blue soap.
Sunlight zone?
No, it's not sunlight, blue soap.
Blue soap?
That's
And then
right.
they had a square yellowish one.
I
The
remember.
blue soap was for white clothes.
That's right.
And the yellowish one is to wash colored clothes.
That was in sunlight?
No machine say colored clothes versus white clothes. Well, long time it was blue soap for white clothes.
Yes, I remember
and
the
blue
blue
to rinse
soap.
the
Yes.
wet- to rinse the clothes.
Mhm.
You have a little blue in a bucket
Yeah, I
of
remember
water.
blue. Yeah.
Yeah, so that your little white clothes.
And you
get-
have your little square little setup outside to put the clothes on with the wire
That's
that
right.
the bleach,
Exactly.
but they
The
call it
bleach
the
in
bleach.
it,
Yes.
yeah.
And the white clothes, lily white, you know.
And
now
everything
we
is
throw
out on the line, hanging, and
I
the rain
still-
set up. You have to run fast. And
I still do that, you know. I still
like
go
the fresh.
out. I really reminisce
Yes.
with the old time days. You have dryer, Lasana tell me, but mommy, you don't see rain going on fall, you still look at the house. So I said, boy, I just like to be outside because all these years I working. I didn't have the privilege.
You're
So now
enjoying the outdoors.
it's like, it's a privilege to do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say recently, a young woman, she said, I don't want to go back to the days of an outhouse. I don't want to go back to the days perhaps of all this kind of washing that their parents probably speak about. But you know, all of that could come back in a jiffy according to circumstances.
Listen, that's what people don't realize.
Yeah, it could come back to a jiffy.
Yeah, and we, the old time folks, could go back. But the young people
They would have a
die.
hard time adapting, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of tough.
Some of the things were
but things
clearly
were just-
very tough, no doubt about it. Even the outhouse and all those things.
Yeah.
We didn't have that by our time. We had gone past that. Would have been our parents' time.
Yeah, you get a bread.
We got upgraded.
Yeah, but it's tough. But look at, for instance, we have been living in Trinity now for 49 years.
Mhm.
And even we never had water problems.
Yes.
Everywhere, like the carcass where I come from,
Mm-hmm.
water would not be the tap for like a month. So
2,
they have
3
to
months.
get
Mhm.
more than a month.
Yes.
So you have to get trucks to bring water for you.
Okay.
Twin City, we never had that problem. But somebody say now it's because, you know, all these malls now going up, there's more water being used.
Yes, maybe they just have to
You know,
get a more
shouldn't.
effective system.
Yeah. So now, in Twin City now, we now share load.
Mm-hmm.
We get water every other day.
Mm-hmm.
It may not go totally the next day, but it trickles, but sometimes it go from 6 in the morning and return 6 in the evening. So what you have to do, not learn to wash wares
That's right,
in the
yeah.
sink,
Yeah.
full up the sink and
Just
wash
learn to
wares.
be adaptable.
So you could go back to that because we knew that. That's why you wash dishes home in the carcass, you know. So I like having come from a background that know these things
Yes, and you know how to get creative and make do.
Yes, I think it does something
Yeah.
for your personality to be versatile.
Mhm.
That you can, okay, you could do it so too.
Yeah.
But young people will be at a total loss.
Yes, it would be a little more challenging, but you know, you're surprised to know what people do when you're backed into a corner.
That's
Well,
right.
that's it. That's
Backed into a corner, you have to
That's
perform.
right. You have to figure out a way to survive.
Yeah.
it. Yeah, exactly. Survival skills.
Mhm.
I want to ask you something. You a while ago when we were out, you mentioned something about the hospice.
Mhm.
You were working there, right?
Mhm.
And there's a difference between the what do you call it?
Palliative care and hospice. Palliative care, it's usually, if you consider like on the scale of you're going into the hospital
Mm.
and you're getting you just got a diagnosis of cancer and you're going to go all out and you're getting chemo and you're getting what it's aggressive care. Everything is going to be done to save your life and to extend your life. Or you go into the emergency room and you have a heart attack and they're going to revive you and do everything. So there's the acute phase where they're trying to do everything to stabilize you and a disease cure a disease as possible with medicine. Then palliative is where it's not necessarily on that scale. Let's say there could be some medicines that you could take, even say you have cancer, some type of chemo, not maybe quite as aggressive, but it's also going to enhance the quality of your life. Versus hospice now is the qualification is that you're reasonably not expected to live more than 6 months. Some people live longer.
Mm.
In fact, Jimmy Carter has been on hospice now for over a year,
Mm.
and that happens. In other words, with your diagnosis, a doctor could say, we don't think we could reasonably expect you to live about 6 months. And at that point, you will forego all those aggressive treatments. Right now, it's going to be comfort. If you're in pain, we manage your pain. If you're having respiratory, if you're breathing problems, we take care of that. And it's also multidisciplinary because you have a team. Most of the time, they have someone to provide with spiritual support, a social worker to help you. And sometimes it's very practical. There's nobody to care for you in the home, and so you may have to go to a nursing home or something like that. Or sometimes you just need someone to help you sort through all the different things. So it is really a wonderful service.
So the people who are connected to these patients, can you see them feeling a sense of relief?
Yes, because usually the hardest decision is when you have come to the point where you said, I'm not going to seek any more care. Or the doctors will tell you, you're at a point now where your heart is so bad that we have done everything. Or your cancer has come back and it's,
Aggressive.
it's aggressive and and they will recommend it. So for some people, the hardest decision is just to get to that point because we're all geared to think that there's always something in medicine that's going to help
The
us.
miracle.
Yes, but the truth is, after a time, and then there's just getting older and succumbing to different things as you age.
Mhm.
So it's a wonderful service that is there. That a lot of people who once they get to that where you come to it's the reality of it.
Reality, yes.
And I think once you get there, then after that it just becomes overwhelming because a person that is getting sicker and sicker, most people are not trained medical people. So to have a nurse come and visit and an aide come in and give a bath and someone to come in and just give you support, it really makes a big difference. You can get it in your home, you can get it in the nursing home.
So the government more or less subsidize that.
Well, it's usually covered through your insurance.
Okay.
I suppose you're talking about the
American standard.
the American standard, right? Okay. But we have we have had people who we know went to this palliative care.
Palliative care. Right on the road to Cora, where Linda lives. The hospital there, who used to be a heart hospital, but now part of it is used as for palliative care.
Right, to make sure people are comfortable,
Yeah.
but not necessarily expect just have 6 months or less to live.
Right.
I don't know how it's
You
how
mean-
they translate it here, you know.
To me, it sounds kind of similar to what
It is
you're
close,
saying.
but the distinction definitely is palliative care is most likely the stage just before you get to hospice.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so hospice is the last stage.
Yes,
Okay.
at least
But
that's.
I think that, like, when you hear palliative care in Trinidad, most times the people die.
Okay, so maybe that is how it works here.
Like, you know, your last days are in comfort. You know?
Okay, well it's
So it seems to be what we call palliative care is what you and my call
definitely.
hospice. Yeah.
And really, what all it is that you're taking care of somebody's. I mean, it's if someone is in pain and they're not medicated for the pain,
Yeah.
that's a very
Uncomfortable.
uncomfortable situation.
Yeah.
So as long as you're treating the symptoms, and the goal is not to get better, but just
But to be comfortable.
To be comfortable.
Yeah.
It would be the same thing.
But I
definitely.
think I never knew we had that in Trinidad.
Is that relatively new?
Well, my brother died, Tony died about 5 or 6 years ago. And when he was diagnosed with cancer, it was like in stage 4. Yeah, lately you hear of people being diagnosed in stage 4.
Yes,
cancer.
because of all the gains they have made with cancer treatment. They have definitely been a lot of more
Yeah.
success.
So, but he just, by the time he was diagnosed, he must have lived like a month.
Yes, that was much more common before than it
Yeah.
is now.
So then, Lasana's first wife, Arita, she works with the palliative.
Okay.
Yeah, up at Cora itself, that hospital,
see.
yeah. And when she rang me and she told me that, you know, that she worked with doing palliative care, and there is such a service
Okay.
if we need it for my brother, you know. But he died so quickly, he went so
Yes,
quickly.
well,
that-
that happens even with the people that we used to get on the hospice program. Sometimes by the time they come on, and we always, you know, you come on so late, but
Yeah.
you really don't have to come on just in the last week. But a lot of times people are really not truly ready.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
by the time they're ready, you're very close to the end.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you provide whatever a person needs or wants, you know.
Because she did explain that, you know, that if the person has pain, you know, they monitor the pain
Sure.
by medication. Whereas if the person is at home, you more or less suffers, and you see them suffering. And
So you don't have the homebound care here, just when that you know of.
You have that home care for people not very ill.
I see.
Like, you know, Irma now has someone coming to take care of her.
Who's that?
Irma now had a housekeeper.
Really?
Yes.
It's a good offer from by the
Somebody
government.
comes in every day
Mm-hmm.
and they wash your hair and
Yes.
they you
Yeah, that's a
clean the
different
house.
service, yes,
Yeah.
for the elderly.
But I think that's wonderful because I knew that in Canada for years I heard
Mm-hmm.
people saying that a caregiver comes in, you know.
But for more of our patients were home patients who came home to die in the comfort of their home and surrounded by their loved ones. And so
Okay.
the care was provided right there.
Oh, wonderful.
Doctor comes to you, nurse comes, everybody comes to you.
That is wonderful. So you actually could die at home.
Absolutely. And some people who didn't want that, there was an option of either going to a hospice unit where it's like a small bed hospital where you could be. So some people didn't want to die in their home, or the
Okay.
family didn't want that, you know.
I tell the family more.
But you know, we did have the hospice service down here. It used to be an
Run by the
observatory
Catholics,
street. Yeah, it used to be an observatory street.
Yes,
Just
hospice.
where Royal Cinema was.
Yeah.
You just go up a little and then you climb the steps. It was a Catholic.
Yeah,
road.
because when Yvonne said of hospice, I remember hearing about a place in Belmont,
Yeah.
but I think it's run by the Catholics.
Let me ask you something, Yvonne. Somebody recently commented. I was trying to find the comment, but it seems to have been removed or something, or maybe I don't know where exactly it was. But the person was saying that they enjoy the videos we put out, but right now I am fighting up with grief. It caused me to kind of look into this question of grief. How would you explain grief? I mean, you would have been seeing people come into the hospice and palliative care and whatnot, and you would know that people have died. How would you explain grief? I mean, I have my own concept, of course.
I mean, I guess in a general way, it's a time of intense sorrow and anguish, and we most likely associate it with death, but it can be a lot of things. It can be a divorce.
Yes.
It can be a loss of anything. You lose your home, you lose anything
You
that
lose
is
your
dear
job.
to you, your job. So there's lots of things that can cause grief, and there really isn't, we used to tell our patients that there really isn't a right or a wrong way to grieve, nor should you put time constraints on your grieving,
That's true.
because people will feel like, well, they died and it's 6 months now and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. But for you, maybe you're not at that point yet. Some people just, it's a process and it takes time. And like I remember when our third child was born, Jennifer, she had a very rare birth defect called trisomy 13. And she never was able to.
Remember we were on video, eh?
Yes, we were never able to, she wasn't able to breathe on her own, and it was a time of shock. The grief started with shock.
Yes, shock.
I mean, you're expecting this beautiful baby, and here comes somebody that is so sick. So my
She's born sick.
yeah, very sick. My personal experience with grief, that would have been the most intense grief that I felt. But I didn't have too much time to think about me because I had to take care of her now. But just not to get too far off track, but it's basically important to understand that if you have a support system, family, friends,
Very true.
that helps a lot. I wouldn't personally have been able to survive without family and friends. Everybody chipped in, and it was a big help. For those people who have a good support system, that is good.
That's why you need your family,
You do.
And you need friends. No
You
man
do.
is an island.
No, that is very true. But it
So
is,
she died like how long?
she lived for
after?
5.5 years, but she was only supposed to live for 6 months.
What? She did a wonderful job.
Don't know about that.
Wow.
So let's get back on track a little bit there. Some people suffer guilt even during their grief, that they had not paid attention to circumstances.
Remorse.
So you call it remorse, really, yeah?
Yeah.
And they punish themselves. In the process of grief, they seem to punish themselves that they should have been a little more particular, and time has gone, and the event has finalized everything, and they go through that period now of grief, but it's
It's riddled with remorse.
riddled with remorse,
Yeah.
and it doesn't really help,
No.
It doesn't.
But you see, that is why it is very critical that we should live good with one another. Because after the person has died, there's nothing,
Yes.
absolutely nothing you could do
That's right.
to
It's
remove
close.
that guilt.
No. I mean, you're going to feel remorse if there's things you feel that you wish you had done. But at some point you have to come to grips that this is the reality of the situation is, that it is what it is. So for some people they find positive ways of maybe you just suddenly begin to encourage others to do just what you're saying. Don't let this happen to you, and that becomes therapeutic for you to see if you can help someone avoid them going through that same
Exactly.
thing, you know.
Exactly.
Just while you have your mother, your father, whoever it is, it may seem burdensome to take care of them,
But do your
but
best.
do your best.
Mm.
And then,
So you don't have to beat yourself after.
yes, because remorse it adds another dimension to the grief,
Yeah.
you know.
True.
I think so.
What about the sense of anger? Why should it happen to my loved one? Why?
That is common. It's a human condition, and some people are more prone to it. But especially if it's a young person, and you feel now this person is young,
Yeah.
they haven't had a full life, and it just doesn't make sense, you know. And it really doesn't when you try to think it through.
You can't wrap your head around it.
No, but there's so much about life we don't understand, and so much about life that doesn't seem to be fair. So
But you
again,
don't question the Lord, you know.
you get to a point where you realize I can question and be angry, but you're really just hurting yourself.
True. So what would you advise if you met somebody and they're having this grief over a loss of, but let's say a loved one. It's a loss, okay? What would you advise that person to do? Go into a shell, come out of a shell? You know, what would you advise? It was your experience.
Well, I mean, again, it's going to be a very individual experience, because if you're talking to the one thing you really don't want to do is to suppress your feelings. It's better to understand that this is tough and this is very overwhelming. So if you're the type of person that wants to cry, you know. And if you're the type of person that feel like you'd like a lot of people to be around you, that's okay. Some people want to be just alone. So it's whatever works for you, but
Now I'm beginning to figure, I know who it is that put that comment.
No, you're not the person.
It's not somebody we know.
No, nobody we know. But that's not important. It's practices. You know? It's not, but you don't know the person, because I don't know the person.
Because I know there was one of our people that had lost a husband. We were supposed to go visit him for his birthday.
No, I don't think that name came up.
Is that it?
Unless it's some other name.
Yeah.
I don't remember the title at all. Yeah.
Well, anyway, what we're talking about is going to help anyone who might be going through whatever grief,
yes, it is.
whatever type of grief
It's a
it is.
very difficult. It's very difficult time. You know, when you have a deep faith in God, it's a deep anchor. And so for some people that have that, it helps.
Yes.
Then you have the practical side of good family support and friends. Sometimes it's just one person. It doesn't have to be an army. Just someone that is dependable. And
I like that. It doesn't have to be an army. You're right. It doesn't have to be an army.
Because if it's an army, somebody might shoot you. Say, I'm tired of this lamentation.
Yes. Louis, we met someone at Price's yesterday.
Savitry.
No, not Savitry.
Yes,
No.
I think I met a Savitry.
No, Diana or somebody. I met somebody called Diana, I think it is, or Diane.
Yes,
From Florida. Yeah, she's here on holiday, so we want to hail out to Diane from there. And also
I met a Savitry.
Giselle, you met Giselle.
Giselle.
Also at Prices, right?
Yes. Yes.
Good. And this evening at
And Giselle,
uh-huh.
I must say, she was very friendly, and I said to her, so what is the marriage tips doing for you? She says, I look at your video and really like it. So I says, well, what is the marriage tips doing for you? And she said, well, I don't have a husband, so I can do without those. She said, but I like the cooking.
And I met a man
And
called.
Giselle even went on to say, so I said, so would you consider marrying again? And she said, it's been 5 years, her husband died. And she said, no, I rather take care of my children. And I thought, she says, I've lost my husband, and my responsibility now is to my kids.
Yes.
And I think that was wonderful. I said, Giselle, you keep on doing what you're doing. Don't let the marriage tips make you feel you don't want to marry.
And I met this evening a man called Shazam. So Shazam, it was nice meeting you outside of Pennywise there. Very good, very good. You want to shout out to anybody? Come on.
I can't think of anybody.
Sidonia.
Oh,
Yeah,
Sidonia,
Sidonia.
and Gary, yes.
Sidonia and Gary and Kyra.
They're so shout out to them.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
keep strong, keep strong.
Keep strong, yeah, because Sidonia, I have not been in touch with you, but I was happy to hear from Auntie how well Gary was responding.
Yes, I tell you.
But I will call you while Auntie's still here.
So folks, we want to wrap this up now. Nice, pretty smiles I'm seeing on this here. So, all of
Beautiful sisters.
beautiful sisters. Let me get a little closer to this. Wow, beautiful sisters indeed. So, take care, everybody. Have a good
Okay,
rest of the week.
bye.
Bye-bye.